everyone, and welcome back to the Design Professionals YouTube channel. My name is Davina, and I'm your host. I am a California licensed architect, and I passed all of my ARE exams and the California supplemental exam within about the time span of a year. Throughout the process, I have been sharing my notes and tips with friends and colleagues, and since becoming licensed, my goal has been to make the architecture exam process more accessible by providing free content and to help as many people through the journey as possible, especially young people. In this video, I'll be going over some of the financial terms you'll need to understand for the practice management exam. Before we get started, I just want to do a quick reminder that we do have some merch available. The link to the shop is down below in the description. In the shop, we have a variety of architect merch ranging from crew necks and t-shirts to stickers and tote bags. So be sure to check out that link for some awesome minimal architect swag. And be sure to follow us on Instagram. On Instagram, I post snapshots of what is covered on YouTube videos, but I also have some short reels of professional advice ranging from places to look for new jobs in the architecture industry to ways to figuring out if you are being paid fairly. Not all of the information on Instagram is covered on this YouTube channel, so be sure to follow for more helpful advice. The link can also be found down below. Alright, let's jump into it now. In this video, I'll be going over the differences between gross revenue, net operating revenue, net profit, and current earnings. Alright, let's get into the difference between these financial terms. I remember when I was studying for the practice management exam, all of the financial terms and formulas confused me majorly. It took several hours of me and my study buddy analyzing the definitions and formulas to really understand the differences between all of the financial terms. Hopefully this video can make understanding the different types of revenue easily understandable in just a few minutes. First, let's start with looking at the definitions of each to begin to understand what we are dealing with. Also, pay attention to the order these are written, as it will be helpful later on. Okay, so starting with gross revenue. Gross revenue is the sum of all money generated by a business without expenses. Essentially, this is all of the money brought in by the business and not deducting any expenses. So here, we are just concerned with the money that's coming in. Net operating revenue, or NOR, is the net dollars remaining after deducting the invoice, consultant fees, and expenses, and all reimbursable and non-reimbursable project-related expenses. So here we are talking about all of the money brought in by the business and deducting project-related expenses. These project-related expenses could be something like consultant fees that we, the business, have to pay. Net profit is the dollars remaining after deducting all direct and indirect labor and indirect expenses before any distributions are made or taxes paid. So here we are taking all of the money the business has brought in, then subtracting labor fees and indirect expenses. Direct labor is any labor that can be billed to a project or client, and indirect labor is typically those hours worked that cannot be billed to a project or client, such as the work of admin staff. Indirect expenses are any expenses that are not for a specific project, such as the cost of an office lease, office supplies, internet fees, benefits paid to employees, and marketing costs. Current earnings is the net dollar amount after all distributions have been made and taxes have been deducted. Distributions refers to the payouts a business provides to their owners or stockholders. So in an employee-owned firm, employees typically hold stocks of their company, and at the end of a fiscal period, the company can distribute a portion of the profits to each of the shareholders, which in this example is the employees. Current earnings essentially represents the money left over after the business has paid off all necessary expenses and fees such as labor, direct and indirect expenses, taxes, and distributions. Now, if we look back at the list of 4 terms we had at the beginning, we can use this list in this order to help us understand the differences between them. Gross revenue is simply everything brought into the business. Net revenue is gross revenue minus project-related costs. Net profit is net operating revenue minus direct and indirect expenses, or basically all of the other costs except distributions and taxes. And finally, current earnings is net profit minus distributions and taxes, or basically everything actually earned after paying off all of the costs. So now you can see why the order of this list is important. For each level, we are basically deducting a little more away from the previous term. And gross revenue is everything brought in, and current earnings is everything remaining. Keep in mind that I am by no means an expert on finances, and I highly recommend turning to more reputable sources to learn more. I specifically used Architect's Handbook of Professional Practice to understand most of the financial terms. This is a resource recommended by NCARB for this exam, as well as several others, so it should be one of your primary resources. The link for the textbook is also down below in the description of this video. On the screen, I noted specific sections you should pay particular attention to for all financial terminology for the practice management exam. If you take a look at any of the tables in Architect's Handbook in the financial section, you'll see more examples of various business costs. Seeing the specific costs helped me put in terms in the real world context and made the terms more easily digestible. Whenever I needed additional information, such as definitions or examples, I used Investopedia.com. In some cases, Investopedia gives way too much information, which can make you even more confused, so proceed with caution. If you need additional sources or examples to help you understand finances, I always recommend to try to put them in real-world context. So ask your firm if they can show you examples of how these terms apply and work in your particular office. If that is not an option, come up with your own examples of how the terms may apply to your firm and use the tables in Architect's Handbook to guide you. That brings us to the end of the content for now. So now it's time to reveal the dog of the day. And the dog of the day is Max. Some fun facts about Max is he is a boxer and he is 8 years young. He is actually my cousin who lives in Austin, Texas. He loves yoga, morning walks, fetching sticks in the creek, playing ball. His favorite snacks are cheese and peanut butter, and he very much dislikes baths, teeth brushing, and delivery people. If you would like to submit your dog or pet to the dog of the day, please feel free to email us at dp.DesignProf@gmail.com. Please give us like 5 to 10 photos and a few fun facts about your dog or pet, and we would love to include them in a future video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please press the like button and remember to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. And let me know down in the comments if you like this video or if you have any topics you would like to see for future videos. Thanks so much and see y'all next time.